no, I did not forget to pop the stream deck. I At least you can hear me if anyone's there, or at any point really, because I know how my streams go, because I have no schedule, I have no plan, and no integrity. But that's how I roll. Yeah, if anybody comes in and if I'm too quiet, just let me know, because it looks decent on OBS, but we know what that means. Nothing. But yeah, let me turn on the music, or just need some coffee, and it's been a day. Yeah, so I decided 2 hours ago to stream and get into makeup and everything, and like tried to fix my hair because it is this curly mess, and it looks alright right now, but why does it look alright? Because bitch put a pencil in. I think we might have some Overcooked streams coming in between me and Anna. But I shall also inquire whether we can start the Forest Sons on Sunday, perhaps, if both of the other two are available. But yeah, Anna and me are going to do Overcooked, because I finally found somebody who might actually play that shit with me. Also, I'm not wearing my glasses, I have contact lenses in, but it's not my new contact lenses, which are my good contact lenses, because I still have old ones. And I'm an idiot, so I want to use the old ones first, which do not give me 100% vision, so we're so not fucking playing any shooters or anything. I have done Memory, I think weeks ago, and yeah, I still have to finish that. Well, I do not know how far I am from finishing. I might be close to the end, but I may not. And it's a super cool game, but it's super mellow and super philosophical, and it made me cry at least at one point, so I'm like, fun. I do have a demo that I'm probably gonna play first, because it was very near and dear to my heart that I would be on camp for that one. Probably gonna squirm a lot. For those who don't know, I am a customer on the Patreon for Not Safe for Work audios, because it's kind of my jam, and I do love my visual novels. I am a huge defender and purveyor and appreciator of Cupid's Parasite, which blew me the fuck away. I was very, very much impressed with how deep that one went and how well it was established. Never finished because you need a shit ton of stuff for it, but I love Mystic Messenger as I got in it. But like literally you have to be on holidays to get like all the calls and all the messages, and I've been over it so many fucking times. And like I'm kind of done with it. Maybe someday I'm just gonna buy all the hourglasses or whatever it is that you need and just get like all the other endings. Fuck knows. Also, obviously not sponsored, but do shout out to the lovely mugs from. I should do have the other one here because I have no children. I always have mugs. This is really fucking beautiful, sort of online print, and this is obviously king size, as you can see. This is a big ass fairy tale one. If you don't know, fairy tale is one of my favorites. So pretty. This is also the right way for me. I put so much whipped cream in this. Do not mind. I'm allowed to. I had a shitty day at work. I'm not gonna go into detail, but yeah. What was it here? Oh yeah, Abby style. I also got my mod some of the mugs as a birthday gift, belated birthday gift. And she's mad at me because she didn't know what to get me, and maybe someday she's gonna find something. It doesn't matter. Also, I haven't been able to show this bitch on stream. Actually, it's really fucking cool. I really love print. It took a while to get it working because I needed another receiver. Because I have the Microsoft, the old one for the old Xbox 360, but yeah, it doesn't work with this one. But, oh my god, it's so smooth, and so far the batteries have held, but now I'm like, we're gonna get rechargeable batteries, and we're gonna get a rechargeable pack because we used to have that with the old one. I don't know yet. Now at least it's working. Also, friend did get me into buying Forspoken. It is cheaper at the moment, so I was like, what the heck. And I get why people don't like it. I do. But I also still see the potential in certain aspects. I don't know if those were artistic choices or if the game just looks unfinished. It definitely takes a while to get started. Some of the conversations are incredibly wooden. I do love the frame story. I do love the representation. I really like the personality of the main character so far. It definitely gives me some time pressure why it's from Colors of Magic, on Witchblade. So we'll see. I'm finally in the open world in it. I actually recorded 3 hours, but Twitch is being a bitch about me uploading them, so I've kind of given up. The first one kind of would work, but 2 and 3 are not working, so I have not uploaded any of that. But I might get into doing that. Also, I'm trying to open the chat to a point where I can actually see, no, that is not what's going on, but hey, maybe Brick is gonna drop in and then we can maybe do something else. I know that occasionally friends from, we're gonna put this away so I can see chat better, I think. I always have issues seeing chat. Nope. Wait, because I never see the activity either. I still have an issue that my activity stuff is not going off. Okay. Oh, I found a new thing. I found a new thing. Can I just like, can I just use this? Do I have to? Like scene transitions like a singer. I have my thing for scene transition. I know. I'm moving some shit in my okay, that works. Ooh, that works. Okay. Yeah, no, that works. Okay. I've cleaned up my OBS. Let me see if I can. My main issue is okay. Yes, I made the chat font a bit smaller, so now I should be able to see stuff better. We'll see. Also, like, a fucking amazing gear that Critical Role comes up with. I literally have the hoodie behind me. Oh, where did I put the bottle anywhere here? No. The bottle is over there. We did get a D&D, one of those metal arena bottles, when we went to watch the movie, and I also bought a bucket with the D&D movie stuff on it. But it was super cool, and we played D&D quiz, which was partially more about the movie than actual D&D, sadly. I got my hopes up for nothing. But I also kind of expected a disappointment, so I guess it was 50-50. I came in 10th out of 170 something. I literally even have the screenshot to prove it if you don't believe me. And I first put my name in as yeah, but then obviously if you give people the liberty to choose their own nickname, bullshit will start happening. And I did. There was one offensive, there were a lot of sexual references, of course. There was like obviously hung daddy and whatnot. Obviously somebody named themselves my nurse, and I was like, you know the fuck what? I'm gonna name myself as the person I've cosplayed. And still working on second cosplay, which is Beauregard. So I did that. But yeah, now I'm like, are we gonna do touch stuff first? And also I'm for the first time feeling kind of okay with makeup, because I am on so much fucking medication at the moment that I needed something like this, which my mom got me. Let's see. Oh, I need to refill them. Ha! I'm on the last cat day as well. Obviously that's the homeopathic stuff, but yeah. This is... I've taken the morning ones. I haven't taken the other ones. And I need to refill them again. Also, I have to poke myself with needles, which I do love. I don't know what it is with needles. I do my smiley piercing. We used to have that as well. But yeah, tons and tons of medication, which is... I don't know if it's weight gain. I don't know if it's just like inflammation. A lot of stuff. Obviously, it affects my energy. You know, I don't get to work out as much as I want to, but I had a really good week last week with working out, but but yeah. as I was mentioning, Critical Role, that's really cool shit. This is a really, really cool shot. And I'm not getting up because of the way. I'm not wearing a bra, so you could see some details. It's supposed to see because I guess that's the way of saying that. So now I'm like, do I do touch stuff? Because I have touch stuff in front of my nose. Do I do touch stuff first? But nobody's around to see it. Or do I go to memory but risk it affecting my mood and then later on use touch stuff as a goodie? I don't know. I mean, I could go into Apex and other shit. The plan is also to get back into Blood Hunt because that's all we have, and I've already seen the price tag of Redfall, and I'm like, it looks good, but money. Right, it's been a week with them. We've actually put news, so I'm kind of waiting for like the next bus to hit me or something to happen, which is why I'm probably in like an anxiety spiral, which is why I'm doing this. But yeah, no, a good result on Monday about something work related. So I was very nervous about that. So glad that went well. And yeah, yesterday tickets for FanFest went on sale. There's actually nobody who cares about this shit, but it's so funny to tell. I have a subscription box I usually get from Japan with Japanese goodies once a month, and it's great. It's fantastic, and I can only recommend Boxer. Again, sponsor me. I don't stream after that. I'm kidding. And usually there's a deal with my mailman. Yes, it's a mailman. I would say male person, but it is a man because I've seen him several times and it's the same. So if there is something that doesn't fit into my mailbox, but I'm not at home, which is 99% of the time because my work schedule is different every day, he will just pop it into my paper recycling container. And I will have a note in my mailbox that says "Go fish." Not literally. So usually I wouldn't know, but I guess he always rings the bell anyway just to check. But yeah, yesterday I was asleep. I had not set a fucking alarm because for once I didn't have classes. And yeah, he rang me out of bed at like somewhere past 9. My cat had already tried waking me up, like clawing his knives into my chest, but that had not done anything because I was tired AF. So I ran down. Oh, I actually opened the garage because I can never find the house keys when I need to, so I always use the garage. And he gave me that, and I come back up and I look at my phone and it says FanFest tickets, and I'm like, fuck, I'm already too late because that shit goes on sale at 9 a.m. BST. I can't deal with time zones. I really fucking can't. Goes over my head. I'll scold my friends. I never get the time zones right. Why do you run RP venues? I barely managed to open at the accurate 7 times. That's also a recalculation every time, especially now with the Switch. The Switch is what saved my ass because when I went on the website, because I was like, oh, I might as well check. Maybe there's still some math. And I wanted to buy tickets for me and a friend, but the friend didn't know that I wanted to buy a ticket for them, and I needed the name, and they were obviously not online. So, sorry, she. I can say she in this case. Usually I use neutral either way. So I went to ask an acquaintance of hers, and they gave me at least like the current in username because she's France. And I was like, yep, okay, we're gonna roll with this. I'm gonna use one of my email addresses, and I had my Visa card on the ready because I've bought tickets for like the biggest metal festival in the world, which literally sells out in under 20 minutes. Probably under 10 now. And usually I will be on my phone, I will be on my laptop, I will be on my computer, I will be on 3 different platforms trying to snag tickets. You will see me actually with the Corpse Husband hoodie. Same thing more or less. I don't know, maybe it's my habits with eBay or my cat wants in. I don't know, I'm gonna go and get my cat. Hold on. Also, talking about cats. Look at her. Yeah, look at my Blahai. Blahai? And Blahai. Oh, yes, I went. And yes, I do speak like that. Odin came in. But why does the focusing on my webcam work, but it just doesn't work in my game? But yeah, She's made a habit of flattening the dog. Yeah, you can blink at me as much as you want. Ooh. Okay, but yeah. Thank you for covering that up. You see neurodivergent trying to like pull back the string of thoughts they were on a tangent for. But yeah, I went on the website and then it stated, oh, tickets will be available at 9, da da da. And I'm like, okay, if it says that, I guess they haven't gone on sale yet. And I checked my phone because, thankfully, because my again, I'm shit with time zones, and because my friends all live in different places, I have all these clocks on my phone, and I immediately went and checked London, and it was like, oh, it's 10 here. It's almost 10 here, which means it is on this side over there. Oh my god, I'm not too late. So I went and knocked on, and I just kept refreshing the site because that is generally what you do. And I opened it on my phone, but I didn't care. I just went with my desktop version. But the thing is, they went live. I could immediately click 2, hit 2, immediately on the next page, put in the names, put in the email addresses, saw that I could even pay by PayPal, and I was like, oh, bitch, that's even easier. Hit PayPal, go in, put in the authentication code, because thankfully, yeah, it's very quick. And I had the tickets immediately. And I was really lucky because like about 400 people took to complaining afterwards on Twitter that they had gotten errors, they had gotten kicked out of the queue. But to be fair, there wasn't a queue because nothing ever said you were in a queue. But then again, I was like among the first people in, and I have optic fiber to like one of the highest degrees, so I guess that was my saving grace. But yeah, I got tickets to FanFest, which I didn't plan going to because it is not in the school holidays. And like the complications with flights, but I had already pre-booked a hotel the week before because I figured, because I can always cancel it if I don't get tickets. But I had booked it for myself, for one person only, because at the time I was only going to buy one ticket. But I'm always like that. I'm like, yeah, especially if it's super limited, like I'll get another ticket. But obviously I knew I needed the name, and that's gonna cause problems later. But we'll see what we do about that. Because again, it is my friend is trans. It's her trans name. It's not her dead name, but her dead name is still on her ID. And I myself am in the process of changing my first name legally. So even my ticket will not be accurate in case that goes through, but I am very much hoping that I will be given some sort of certificate or paper that will state that I have changed my name, because the flight ticket is also in that name. But also I know that it can take up to 11 months for the name change to go through, so I'm kind of like, okay, like, hold your horses. Because that's why I'm like kind of like, I want to travel, but booking tickets far long in advance is a bit tricky because of the name change. So I've taken a risk with the actual event ticket and with the plane ticket. But I think what I will do is, because my ID and passport, if my name change goes through beforehand, they will be voided and I will have new ones made. Oh, here comes the other cat. That one I can't pick up. Oh. Oh no, you're not going out. Come here. And jeez, the fact that I can hold a story is impressive myself. But yeah, no, because they will literally just punch holes into them, so I can technically take the old one with the new one, and then they can see that it has changed, but that it is the same person. I think that would be the easiest way to prove that, but I know that flight companies can be a bit of a dick when it comes to name change. My parents had run into that as well because they changed their name, but back then I don't know. I think if you wrote your name differently enough on forms, they eventually just adopted that way. Because they had changed theirs, and I don't know how, and then suddenly it went back to the old ones, and my mom had like a maiden name and shit on everything, and it was like, this doesn't go with your ticket. I don't know how she did it that one time, because she literally had a different name on the passport compared to what was on the ticket. I don't know, it worked. She's a very, very convincing woman. She can be a Karen if she wants to. Not with me, please. But yeah, no, that's the whole story. But the hotel is booked, the tickets are booked, the flight is booked, and I'm flying in. Saturday, fuck me all morning, but I'm not too far away from the airport because the XL London is very close, and I've been there because I went to Comic Con completely on my own last time. Well, a friend went with me, but they didn't go to the con with me. Like she was off into London City, and we would meet in the evening though to go together to Amsterdam at the last Tuesday Society, if you don't know it. And then we went to 2 goth parties because it was just before Halloween, and also now I'm also like fuck. But to be fair, all the Halloween parties will be the weekend after, because I'm like, I booked the flight in a way that I can only take 8 kilos because I have no plans of cosplaying for Final Fantasy 14. I mean, I can always add a luggage for €60, I guess, in the end, as like an extra cost. But I'm not planning to. But the problem is that if I do want to go to my golf clubs, I need at the very least my platforms. Packing a corset, easy. Packing a dress, easy. Shit tons of makeup, starting to be a bit more complicated, but the platforms. So I will do what I always do, which I'll put the shit on. I'll take my globes to walk at the con, which are my comfy shoes, and I'll be wearing my heaviest platforms to fly in, because if I put them in my luggage, that's already overweight. And I'm flying back Monday morning super fucking early, but I won't be back here until 10 a.m. So if I have work from 8 until 10, I'm gonna have to kind of find a swap, or I'm gonna have to call in sick. You didn't hear that here, but yeah, I'm gonna have to find a solution because I do not know my schedule until September, which is always the problem with booking tickets for shit like this, because I literally do not know how I'm going to work. Which is why I'm always complaining about concerts and everything being like in the middle of the week, especially if they're like, as in most cases, 3 hours away. I cannot drive that. I ideally need to sleep over and then drive the next day home, also because I like to after party. But yeah, can't do if it's in the fucking week. I'm still so undecided. Let me flip a coin. On that note, I literally just posted on Twitter about it, but I do have Dispel dice sets, which are gorgeous, and they were not kidding about the sharp edges. In my life, it's like the day I would, perchance, whatever, it's over here, on my fingers, if I ever were to step on that T4, you can immediately, like, order the coffin, because ain't no way I'm gonna survive that shit. Okay, which one? The percentile line slid out. But yeah, I don't think the lines are gonna do them justice. Percentile die says no. But yeah, actually I'm using these right now for my Savage raiding. Because there is an Octa flare and a Tetra flare in the strategy. And I just put the D8 and the D4 in front of me, and I just shot whichever it isn't to decide. Because I already have to pay attention to volcanic torches to see which square I can stand in that's safe, and then I have to check which summon it is to know also where the fuck I would be safe, and then I have to check if it's Octa or Tetra flare to know if I need to set with the main tank or not in order to be safe. So that's 3 things, and also that cast comes in after the first great right damage. So if you don't know what that means, I can explain it. So it's a really quick fucking cast bar, so it's very, very easy to miss. And then you start focusing on the other shit, because this matters technically as a loss out of the 3. And the whole fight is kind of like that. It's like, oh, I'm gonna throw this at you, and then 1 minute later, now you need to remember which one you will. They use the D6 or something else as well. But you know, if it works, it ain't stupid. And yeah, I'm not playing any physical D&D. I'm not playing any D&D at the moment. But like the last DM we had, thankfully he would always let us roll our real dice, even though we were playing on roll 20. It was very nice. But yeah, no, they haven't seen any use in ages. I'm quite glad that I get to use. Okay, and now I'm also kind of miffed, and so I'm starting to take out my medicine boxes. Yeah, I forgot about that one. So I guess you get to watch me well done. I can talk while doing that. Yeah. I just realized that. And while I'm getting new ones on that way. Sure, drop it into my lap. That's a good way to start. Also, I actually need to get a knife. But we'll see about that. The sliders are cool. Also, because I don't think I showed that, but they basically say morning, evening, and at night. So right now I'm putting one of my meds in for night. Okay, I have enough until Monday. Monday I'm moving to these. So then the other one, which is, I don't even know what that is. What are you? I don't remember. Hydroxine difluorohydrate. Yeah, and the things I was like, oh, this contains lactose, blah blah blah, and like, yeah, no. Okay. That's gone. Then we have one that is technically an asthma medication. One and this one. So that's the shit I need to take in the evening. Then I can prepare that. I hope this isn't illegal. Whoop. Okay, one evening done, one evening done. And on top of that, I use homeopathic. And I know people are like, oh my god, I don't believe in homeopathic medicine. Well, you don't have to. I do. I have to. I was meant to be filmed one for today, which is fine. Okay, I'm missing some stuff on all the others. Okay. This bag where it belongs, this still has some gas. And this, which is the other whatever medication for my skin condition that I have to take a day. Yay, because, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm an idiot. I forgot I need to take 2 a day. Shit, I'm not gonna have enough of these. Because I was like, oh, I have enough for 2 weeks. Oh no, wait, she gave me another recipe. Hey, fuck, I completely forgot about that. Hey, fuck, I kind of made a mistake, but also kind of not. Accidentally genius. Woo! Nice. Nice. Just put one over. That means this go. This one's fine. It doesn't help though that the pills are blue and the fucking container is blue as well. And yes, my lights are not cooperating in that sense. Okay, you have this. You have this. You have it. You have it. And this. Thank you for 2 of you. Both of you following. Why are the things not going off? I see it here, but it's not going off. And I swear, this is not a medication run stream or anything. But I've been blabbing about so many things like FanFast and everything. So in case you're not Final Fantasy 14 players, FanFast is, well, usually we're going into the 4th. It started somewhere around 2014, but they decided, okay, we're gonna make the announcements for the next set-on, but we are gonna tie this together with like a fan meetup, and we're gonna do the panels live. And so they created FanFest. There's one in Japan, one in NA, and one in Europe. The ones in Europe were, I think it was London, it was in Frankfurt, then it was in Paris, which is the first one I went to in 2019, and now it's back again in London. And they will always reveal a third of the information for the expansion. And I think we are the 2nd. So last time when I was there, it was insane because we got the news for the Nier Automata raid that we were going to get in Final Fantasy 14. Yes, if you didn't know, we have a raid that is based on the Automata, and we get to play with 2B and all of that. Yes. The cat wants out. Hold on, I just need one more. And yeah, I'm just prepping my medication because I will literally forget about it. So I've been talking to myself. Yes. Yeah, don't go into the kitchen if you want to go out. No, it's raining and you can complain again. Deeply amazing fit on Critical Role. Super cool. Ugh. More medication, and then I have to remember that I need to cut one of my meds up later and add another one. But yeah, feel free to say hi. The idea is to play Touchstarved, the demo, in a second, or to continue with Memory. I think that was the full title, is Memory, a New Season. There you go. Yeah, thank you guys so much for the follows. I am not the most organized streamer. Usually I fuck up my audio settings, that's one thing. Especially when playing with others. Now I forgot which ones are already put in. Thank God there's numbers printed on it. I need this one. I have ADHD, in case it wasn't very, very obviously clear. But yeah, okay. Going to be... No, there's more than one med missing. I'm not gonna be sure which one I already killed. I don't even see how many I put in there. Fuck me. Hey, that work with corpse. Oh god, almost got this one. Okay, that's these. Now to see. Vitamin D replacement. Whatever. And yeah, if you're wondering the Discord. Because I've been having a reaction to, we actually don't know to what, but I've been having a reaction ever since the end of December. Fun. Nope. Can't the other box. This is literally a eat the box stream. I can't eat this one because there's gonna be enough left. To enjoy throwing things around. Okay. Now we're done with this. That was vitamin D. Now we're doing more vitamin D because I have a really high difference. Also, I'm a person of color, which you might not be able to tell because the light is so fucking bright in my face. Trust me, I know when I was born what my genetics were like. So in winter, I always need to take vitamin D anyway because winter depression and like other health issues that come up with my shelves. Okay, so we're gonna close these now. I mean, one bed is missing, but I'm not going to do that now because I'm going to need a knife. You, please do not let me not run over before it's closed. It's a fucking mess. Okay. Thursday we have, which means actually it's quite nice because it's kind of like a fight. Friday goes in, and then Saturday goes in, Sunday goes in, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday ends in German. But at first I hated this thing, but now that I keep adding more and more meds, I also forgot to put another one in, but I'll do that later. This helps. And I did talk about Abby Styles' amazing cups, but I forgot to mention one thing. Also, I do have a Sword Art Online one. For anyone that likes like really nice, I don't know, I'm sometimes very much about like tactile stuff, and I bought a Vi and Jinx one at Gamescom from them, and I love it because it has a super nice matte finish. This one is a bit matte as well, but not as much, but it still feels like there is something about what it feels like. Maybe me rubbing a muck on stream. Well, maybe I should play Touchstarved now. But the good thing about these is because of fucking lot, I love black marks predominantly, so it already takes a lot for me to buy anything with white. And I do like popping them into the dishwasher, which with a lot of cups with prints doesn't really work, especially when it's like prints more like this. But lo and behold, not all of them, but a lot of Abby Styles mugs are actually dishwasher safe. And obviously I only bought those. I also have one with a Cthulhu emblem on it, which is fucking amazing. So, yeah. Now my dilemma is I want to open Touchstar, but we always run into issues. Well, first of all, because the game overlay doesn't work, so I just use a screen over show screen overlay. The problem is that everything I start, regardless of what my settings are, and me taking care and being very vigilant about it, I very often do not get sound when I open any new game the first time. But I wanted the first reaction to this. This is my chest. There we go. I could also play the standing because I've been so shy. So to this now. We're gonna try opening Touchstarved. Okay, let's go to this first because you can't really see a lot from that. So we have the demo. I have backed the game on Kickstarter. Don't fucking come for me. The Kickstarter is also going insane. I'm very sad though because there is another queer Aero sim, mobile sim, which unfortunately doesn't get as much traction. They released their Kickstarter around the same time, I think. No, actually, they released it earlier because they started it on the 22nd of February, but they haven't reached their goal yet. So, oh god, what happened again? Sorry. Well, I say sorry. I don't know what the message. I don't know what the message was. I might have to go and my stream deck has been initially set up. I think I'll just go to Twitch itself and see it there. I'm not doing that on stream though. Gonna be able to see it. Let me go into mod view and see what it was. Because sometimes it's just about like if it's console. I don't see the message. I think it's gone. But your time there for 300 is like that shouldn't be too long, I think. What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. Yeah. Nope, that's perfect. I see what it did. Nope, it did its job. I kind of expected that. Yield to the bottom. I thought this when I told my friend. I've never been one to care about views or anything. So. You're really barking up the wrong tree, my darling. Really barking up the wrong tree. So, without further ado, let's try and go back to Touchstarved. I'm gonna need to fix the stream info. You get to see that. Touchstarved, yes. So we're gonna see if this works. And yeah, I know my camera is where I'm gonna squeak and squirm and God knows what. Please tell me the sound is working from the get-go. Because it should take the defaults and the defaults are correct. It doesn't seem like it. Let's go and check. Why are you doing this to me? At least it's opening on the other screen. Yeah, see, you should be in gaming and this. Does any button? Nope, there's nothing coming through. Okay. Oh. Okay. Hello. Yes. Hello. Sure. Okay, wait. I'm putting it directly to Vio. Oh god. That was loud. I knew there was sound. Okay, I do want to hear this for a bit because like there was a lot of commentary on like, oh, whether it was looping and stuff. If it's too low for stream, obviously let me know. Okay. I like. Intended for an older audience. Bitch, I'm going in on 40s. I think I'm old enough. It contains mature content. It includes but is not limited to. Which reminds me, I haven't finished the other Vampire visual novel one. I only did one path perfectly and then almost perfectly. Horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug reference, injury, and dismemberment. Player discretion is advised. If you accept the embargo terms and content warning, please click to proceed. Tutorial. In Touchstarved, your choices matter. It is in the council as well. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogues, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contain exclusive content. Right, because they didn't mention that on the Kickstarter, and we've unlocked side characters and merch for them. And the next, if you do decide to back in on Kickstarter, because you still can, the next goal is an animated intro. They're going full on Obey Me, which is literally another kind of visual novel game I play, but it's not really visual novel. I play so many. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. Yeah, this is the one thing I hate. It's like a million fucking saves, but you really do need them. We will go with my chosen name, which is Morgan. Aya just doesn't fit it. Choose your pronouns. Hey! I'm gonna go with she, her, because I rock with all of them, but it's gonna be easier. This world began to unravel long before you were born. Okay, she asked me to narrate it. It began with fog, fall, spectral mist blurred from the seams of reality, was so thin it split. Okay. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts, driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. It's called instincts. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear, while monsters thrived in the chaos. Can I join that team? I am going to. And then was you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Oh, cool, we get a choice. I like that. But also, you were born cursed. I mean, there's stuff in Obey Me with like your birth as well, which is like, okay, you unlock that info later on. But hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Willingly? Do we have control? This is some sorcerer shit. Okay. Tremere, Gangrel, Simith. I love my VTM. It's definitely already sounded like VTM stuff. So let's see. The unnamed, the fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Following the mage's word, you fled in search of the cenobium, whatever that is. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences around you. 4. The Hound, the Forsaken Baby. You were raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when nobody else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure and betrayed you. They left you with only enough coin to travel to the cenobium, your last hope. Okay, obviously all of these are going there. You have sharply honed social intuition. You can survive and even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. The Alchemist, an abandoned mage. An exiled cenobium mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. Yeah man, you can't trust anyone. You fled to the cenobium seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. I assume this also works in your favor. Obviously, making your choices. Why am I drawn to things like tragic backstory? I mean, all of these are kind of tragic. I'm going with the Hound. Fuck it. Ow! Okay, your name is Morgan, you selected your pronouns of extra. Is that how this is correct? Yes. I swear I can do better wolf owl. I just wasn't trying. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death. The ever-present stench of decay and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seas across the barren land. Sorry, but this always happens. Long reading. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair. Oh god, no, not the keyword of this whole channel. But then I saw it. Eridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. You know what happened to Alexandria, right? If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. Really? Hope in this economy? I click, but it takes really... I'm gonna have to adapt the speed of this. All that stands between me and a cure is a final stretch of soul-soaked wastes. Or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Great. Is this fogfall? My stomach sings at the very whisper of it, a silent storm more devastating than fire. Dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. I need to drink this coffee. A thick blanket of fog gases, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. I don't know if this sound is coming through. There's like a slight fog sound. An eerie silence, heavy as a mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. My. Okay, wait. I'm gonna make it louder here. Hear it? There we go. And I'm just putting it lower here. Oh! Gotta scream now. But stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. Eesh! I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding, white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. Wow. Great tip. I almost think that's a mane made out of pink. Ashby? A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. Very good sound design. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. Okay, I'm definitely using one for logic. So we heard a horse scream. Yeah, a horse screams in the dark. I honestly, well, me as a person obviously don't know anything about the solar, so I don't know if I can outrun them. Can I, as a human, outrun a horse? Probably not. So I'm gonna make the wrong choice. I'm really not one for like hide and stick it out. It depends your chances. If you're with a murderer in a house, And you just hide and you stay there. Eventually you will get found. Staying for short term, making sure the coast is clear, and getting the fuck away. Yes, I'm definitely usually one for running, but logic for me dictates head towards the wagon. Now take cover beside the wagon where the air is thick with greasy smoke. Fire eats through the gaping hole, spluttering where lantern oil mixes with brackish water. Oh great, it's on fire. Every person I see is dead or dying except me. Oh, All Mother, forgive our sins. Guide us onto your hearth. We are worthy. We are worthy. Oh God, wait. The traveler grovels by the flames, their hands clasped above their head in fervent prayer. I glance upwards towards the gauzy light of Iridia, just visible where the fog runs beneath. I don't pray, but the sight of the city is all the reminder I need. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source. But the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet, too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. I'm gonna die, aren't I? First choice, already the wrong one. Fighting the urge to heave. Also, wasn't there a save? Fuck, I should have saved. Fighting the urge to heave, I clawed frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit. My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Oh, come on, of all the places. Bandages unfold around the gorge, torn deep into my palm. Oh, so I have bandages on my hands already. The pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Can you stand? Were you the one praying? Yeah, the praying traveler leans over me. Wow, my hands. I mean, okay, curse, indeed. We need to run. It's beautiful. He's probably not gonna make it. They reach for my hand. Yes. Sorry, I said he. We have they. And I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me. Oh, why? The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse. Madness of my own making. Okay, so we're more Malakavian? The grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me... Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Oh god, you're not kidding about this curse. He can read. But yes, repeatedly, die! Actually, imagine the reborn, like, die, die, die! I can't even do it right now. Spit bubbles at the corners of their mouth and flags my face. I spit bubbles at the corners of their mouth and flex my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. Help from whom? I mean, I might get the soulless to come over, but then I'm fucked as well. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrists. No, you should be going for the eyes, but okay. Or the nose. Just push the nose up. But no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. But look, I don't know how powerful the curse is. The more I struggle, the tighter the grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die, and not because of the fogfall or the soulless, because of my own curse. I mean, wouldn't it be kind of ironic? Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here, not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cuff. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine. Lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claw, hooked through their stomach. Thank you. Bye! The soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studying its leathery skin, thin as though grinning. I guess it can maybe smell the curse and that's why it's not coming for us. Spoke too soon! There's a flash of claws, reds spill across my vision. I thought it'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. I'm dead. Distantly I notice an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds. Mine, neatly severed at the elbow. Oh. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead I'll die, cold, alone, and face down in the desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Who did it to them? I also should have saved anyway. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of rock water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment I take a reflexive breath. Air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back, warm cloth on my bare skin. A firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. Oh, I already know what it is. Yep. The one that is literally Simeon in Obey Me, but we do not mind. So, I say he face on. Then again, they use that in the preview, so don't quote me on that. I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's the stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me! My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and hopeless I sound. No. Who the hell is this? I'm gonna try to sit up. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. I should have saved so many times already. You should save at every choice, but oh well. Ah, stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked, except for a thin linen sheet. Great. Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. Right. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange. Inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from the cautious smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere with anyone. Yeah, this image of betrayal. The only people I ever trusted betrayed me for a fat pound of coin. Howdy. What do you want, baby? Hi, baby girl. Hello? Yeah. The only people I ever trusted betrayed me for a fat pound of coin. I don't know why they went back, but it did. I scowled, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. That's one hell of a bracelet. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. Oddly. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke, and something distinctly metallic that I can't quite place. I would would estimate it's blood. The doctor produces a large dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. Yeah, we're not super cordial here. I lift my head, looking defiantly into those golden eyes. This is literally the crossover between a Geodaddy from Genshin and Simeon from Obey had a child. Could you step out first? I'm not getting dressed with you standing here. To my surprise, the man's mouth quicks. I was not planning on watching. But shoo! Still smiling to himself, he disappears through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. The beast took my arm clean off, and yet my arm shows no sign of injury, apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart raise at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. No stiff. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them. But there's one thing still missing, my bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps toward one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump up against the edge of the cot. The caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. This doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move toward me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clenched my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. Ooh. I'm just gonna glare at him. Again, not saving. I fix him with a dead-eyed glare, the one that used to send my fellow thief into shuddering silence. He doesn't even blink, meeting my eyes serenely as I finish tying my bandages. I am not easily intimidated. I hastily break eye contact, but he says nothing more. At least he doesn't seem angry. But if he wants answers out of me, I'm still going to need some from him first. Who are you? You may call me Kudos. And where exactly am I? Eridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Eridia, so I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can vanish is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment, which you provided. Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed hand. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine. Thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? The Solars attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I trail off, bewildered. I've never heard of any medic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? The doctor, Kuros, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge, and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give and receive it freely. Well, I'm already doing that. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. It was just you're new to Iridia, so we'll overlook the specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. You understand? He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I'm also a complete stranger to him, and if you stand the truth, you saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Morgan. My name is Morgan. It is a pleasure to meet you, Morgan. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. I guess I don't have to be a complete fucking brat. Thank you for saving my life. Yes. I chance a smile in return. Even if you won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if not for us. I just noticed that. Come on. Oh. Oh no. Oh god, yeah. Oh! That is neat though. The fact that you can literally with the mouse turn back, because I am horrible with reading. There we go. I fixed the camera. That is great though. That's perfect because I often miss stuff. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did she save me? You don't know me. Homeboy is really surprised. The question seems to startle Kuros. I could hardly leave you to die in the waste. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Kuros might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient. I blinked. What did he just say? Ah, I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help being curious about you, Morgan. His voice dips to a soft murmur and he abruptly looks away from me. Ha! You appear to curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Really not. But you haven't asked me for any payment yet. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. I fall silent, unsure what to say to that. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Music to get louder. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent and Kuros lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. If you need anything before you leave, Morgan. Oh, between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the Cenobium. The Cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Sir? Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. Cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived. Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander. Excuse me? The Wet what? The Wet Wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Kuros points toward the clinic's back door. You will be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. Okay, music goes loud. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the street. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak pockets. My coin purse. Everything is still inside, every last coin that I'd scraped together for the journey to Iridia. It doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glance back at the clinic's closed door. Kuros didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said it in Iridia's sequence. Empowered. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kuros gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Kuros' clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. So, are we basically not wearing shoes? Because yeah, it's a bit rough. I knew Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That was soulless, wasn't it? That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the store's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me. Okay, it's a different thing. Its three bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points at a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway, adorned with dangling garlands of red and thick lilies. The buildings in this quarter are dizzying. A dizzying riot of color, painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways, musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the sweat and musk of warm bodies. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the word Bloodhound. Printed above his head, a motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I followed the line of identical posters round a corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read The Wet Wing. The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. And here we go. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's not even midday, yet most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green cloaks. There's a lot you can tell about a city by its dyes. This one seems ordinary enough, even if the uniforms are unusual. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room. Show, show, show! The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar in their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught swept along in the ale-stench current. Hey, hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself. But the crowd has stilled. The chanting stopped. A pint of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Seriously, you dogs? Again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. There you are. A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, all right? This time, when he speaks, the audience falls silent as though bewitched by his magnetic presence or rich, low voice. But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink, or you'll miss it. He laughs, and a dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found Leander. Okay, I have to stay away from the mouse wheel. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of pale green light, real magic, no ordinary stage trick, blinds me. As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrist and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. A genuine magic show was the last thing I expected from a place called the Wet Wick. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns in a slow circle, giving the audience a good look. Now, who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for lilies while others whistle and call Leander's name. But his cool green eyes slide right over them, locking on me instead. How about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Take the flowers. Just take them. It's going to be a much bigger deal if you refuse them. I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hand, their light dims. They fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander lost under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me and I found myself smiling back. Leander steps off of the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible clink. Alright, bloodhounds, get back to your drinks. Show's over. The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to the tables and booths. Before I can make my way towards Leander, his eyes find me. He gives me a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulder presses against mine. But he doesn't seem to mind at all. Is this your first time in Iridia? He says it lightly, with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I'd remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. Ugh. My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What can I get you? Surprise me, and anything my friend wants to my tab. I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit I do feel a little thirsty after all that fried dough. I'll definitely put a save in here. I'll have what he's having. Oh. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbows on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lids. His eyes wander over me in return, but when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sour taste rises in my throat. Here come the questions. So, what brings you to the wake? Kuda, send me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately falls right back into place. So, it's about work. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses filled with what I can only assume is beer. I raise my glass and give it an experimental sniff. It smells faintly yeasty, but with an undercurrent I can't quite place. A quick sip confirms my worst suspicions. It's awful. Somehow briny and sour in a way that reminds me of pickles. Maybe Kodak? But any thought of complaining dies the moment I look up and see Leander taking a deep swig from his glass. He lets out a satisfied breath. How can I be of assistance? I need to get to Zenobium. As soon as the word Zenobium left my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. Bloodhounds twist around in their seats to gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you bringing up the Zenobium in here? Throw him out. This is Bloodhound territory. The vitriol catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule just by mentioning the Zenobium. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking, as though he hasn't noticed the uproar, only when he catches me looking to see lower his glass. For the love of... He drags a hand down his face. Hey, keep it down, will you? This is business. I tense, expecting an argument, but these outspoken bloodhounds silently return to the drinks. Only a handful continue to watch me warily. Sorry about them, the Zenobium's a bit of a touchy subject in these parts. Mixing enough drinks and, well, you saw. How about we continue on site? When I give him a tense nod, he pushes away from the bar counter. I follow Leander to an alleyway tucked behind the wet wick where layers of frayed bloodhound posters have been plastered to the wall. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and the likeness on the posters is impressive. Kudos didn't send you here for help with the Zenobium, did he? From the look he gives me, he already knows the answer. I glance away. No, he didn't. He suggested I find an alternative. Yet here you are, asking about them anyway. What do you need the Zenobium for? I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Well, I see you're already aware of the city's currency. Information's worth its weight in gold here. Horus told you the truth. The Zenobium's dangerous. Get on their bad side and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not. But the Zenobium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. The Zenobium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. If any place held answers, it would be the Zenobium. That's why I came here. That's what they want you to think. The things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, if I staked everything on the line, then what now? Leander clears his throat. But as I always say, there's solutions to every problem and alternatives to every solution. He claps his hands and turns to me with a balloon smile. That's why Kuros pointed you to the Bloodhounds. Let us help you, whether it's hunting soldiers, finding people, or recover stolen valuables. We can do it all, and free of charge. I'm shaking my head before he's even finished his practice speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, it's chagrin in French, chagrin in English, I think. Leander nods slowly. Then your problem must be fairly serious, and if the Zenobium's your first choice, you're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? Not cooking. When my eyes widen, he nods along, as though he suspected all along. I'd be happy to help you out, that is, if you'll tell me what ails you. Leander might not work for the Zenobium, but he is a mage. And a powerful one at that, if his demonstration earlier is an indication. I'm silent, plagued by indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I have to admit it. but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. Cursed. Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or more recent? He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? I wait until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I've even finished, Leander begins taking his glove off. He tucks his right hand free and flexes his fingers. Let's see it. He offers me his hand, and a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm. But I'm already shrinking away, backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I can't bring myself to hurt him. To see his kind face twist into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affliction was strange and one of a kind. To spend a year in this city, you'll see 1,000 curses and thrice as many cures. Do you really think curers would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in the Cenobium, better even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Okay. Then, with a short breath, I begin unwinding the bandages from my hands. Fine. But if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. The last fucking person tried to choke you. You better be ready to run, because God knows what he's gonna do, if it actually does work on him. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. I like the idea. With each joint I expose, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea. Ready when you are. If he's bothered by the way my hand looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over his palm. 3, 2, 1. Do I? I hold back for a moment. I hesitate at the last second, but Leander does not. His hand closes tightly around mine. The instant his fingers graze mine, his expression goes blank. Leander? I try to pull away, but he won't let go. My stomach sings, fear clutching me even harder than Leander's grip as he takes a slow, deliberate step closer. His free hand rises, outstretched fingers angling towards my neck. No, you're just fine. Interesting, that's one hell of a curse. His hand lands gently on my shoulder to steady me. I didn't even realize I was shaking. I searched Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheeks, but he remains still, except for the subtle bobbing of his throat. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of Leander's palm, lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail, the grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his arm. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not without dire consequences. I never realized that, what I was missing until this moment. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. Touching him. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearm. The smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scar by the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Leander's face, and his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? My hand goes still on his arm. So far. I'll admit your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-handed. But not due to your power. Dude, the fuck? I ain't that cute. He takes my hand. His soft green eyes flick to mine before he turns it to inspect the golden fishes crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, we match. He points at a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. I draw my hand back and take a steadying breath. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. May I ask your name? I'm Morgan. You're right to hide this from me, Morgan, because that curse of yours is unlike anything I've ever dealt with. I can tell you discreet, but you'd best not go showing that off to anyone else. I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? I paused. Room and board was something I hadn't yet considered. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. Sir? The heck? The wet wig is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of the bloodhounds have dispersed or in a few cases fallen asleep beside their drinks. Oh, I could do this while I'm so quiet. Got any rooms left, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. You know I always keep the corner room open for your escapades. Aha! Leander's laugh sounds slightly strange. You're disgusting already again. Hold out, sir. And I always appreciate it, but you're mistaken. This is just for my friend Morgan. Sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Escapades, huh? But Leander clears her throat and holds the key out to me. But I hesitate. My concourse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Bloodhound raids. My treats since you shared your secret. Food, drink, warm bed, anything you need. Carefully I take the key from him. It's small, but weighs heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone 3 meals. I planned to steal whatever I needed to get by, no matter how dangerous. Thank you. Go explore, Morgan. You'll find many roads in Iridia, each leading to different answers. But if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Just be careful. I'm not taking one last look at a gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. Next! The air clings sodden and heavy. Without the morning crowd, the sunless streets look barren and bleak. Even the peddlers are long gone. Only a pair of crows remain quibbling over stale crusts in a gutter. I feel a ridiculous pang of envy. At least they've got reason to fight. I've never felt so lost. Kuras and Leander both made it clear that the Cenobium can't be trusted. But I came so far, endured so much. I need to see the Cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. Cloud, I think, until a puff of hot air, hot breath tickles the back of my neck. The shadow runs down the street in rivulets. Formless dark spreads like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch, a muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep. I feel it. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement over a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to see what got me first. I steel myself, then turn. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came. I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone, except for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. I have a feeling, yep, I figured it was him. Excuse me, did you steal a key? A monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that can nearly be mistaken for human were it not for the tufted ears, the tail curled around his ankle. This is already... I mean, look, we match so well. This is already my go-to love interest. Or the dusk pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. Our eyes meet and the monster uncrosses his long leg. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly, that's a word, unsettlingly, of blood where it curls around his common throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an inscrutable little smile. Did you see that shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the wigs drooling regulars. Though this did catch my eye. Yeah, mine as well, right away, but our protagonist doesn't. With a flourish of his hand, my inner room key appears dangling from his finger. It turns out its chain glittering when it turns on its chain glittering when it catches the light. My hands fly to my cloak's pocket and sure enough find them flat. He crooks his finger beckoning. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on the edge, thrumming with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edges of my vision. I always attract the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. Wait, what's here? Yeah. Oh, I'm not playing that. How'd you even find it? The key, I mean. What can I say? I'm a sucker for shiny things. You're not a magpie. He smiles white enough to reveal pointed canines. I can't wait until I mind that. 1 month, and they're gonna be fixed. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. A city like this, somebody might take advantage. The bald-faced lie is said without a hint of irony. I can't figure out how he picked my pockets under my nose, but I'm certain he took my key and I need it back. I approached the man careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. The stranger's chain softly clings with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keeping a distance. Until I figure out how you managed to rob me, yeah I am. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? Ah! That face! He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. You really look like a common thief, do you? He's got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Luckily for you, I don't charge. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang. For the first time since I stepped into that shadow, I feel something other than dread. Girl, me too. My face grows hot. That's not what I meant. I'm flattered, really. With sex my trade, I might make an exception for you. How about half off for a handy? Wait, who's propositioning who now? Or you could just hand over my key. Ask her nicely and I might even let you tongue my tail. Just throw it here. Getting exasperated. So some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run. He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. It's so fucking playful. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumming in the wig with the rest of those swank-jawed imbeciles. My. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler, what misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pen? I wonder. He listlessly watches the arc of my key swinging around his finger. The weather's shit. The food's dreck. Dreck? Is he really saying the food's dreck? And there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Oh, now we get this cute frontal look. Dagger-sharp eyes flick towards me. They gleam with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. Sir! By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever experienced. I think he would fucking kill me if I turned him down. I would have fled back. I would have fled back so much. How'd you know that I spent all my money, starved, and nearly died in a swamp just so I could crawl into bed with the first thirsty monster I saw? I love the Spencer. That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark lashes. Aren't you funny? Could you be any more obvious? I have been told subtlety is not my strength. So your plays are mine. If only I had my key. Now I might be able to invite you up. He said he wouldn't set foot there anyway. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Come, take my hand and we'll go together. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeve. Especially for... And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on. Hi, Nox! I have coffee. A lot of coffee, which is cold now. I did prep my medication box though. And there's still not everything in it, but I prepped that at least for next week. And I'm very much contemplating not going to work tomorrow because I'm generally not feeling well, but we'll see. And because it's just before the holidays, I could technically be in trouble, but also there's nobody there who can get me into trouble, so. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. Also, you still owe me a letter. I just had to remind my dear Argentinians in Berlin as well for theirs. So hopefully Ramiro is sending it off today. But yeah, yours sounded fine, so please just send it my way so I can... Because then I'm just waiting for my parents' and one more friend's. And then I'm just gonna send it all in. You're just a person. I'm going back to the Moxie, to the hotel that you stayed in last time we were in London. I was talking about it earlier. Because I'm going back, because FanFest. Because I managed to snag tickets. And because that is also taking place at the XL, I obviously went for your hotel. I actually already had the room booked last week. I was watching a friend yesterday playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But it wasn't Duel Masters, it was like some other more fancy one. It was fun. Hope you're well. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than that one, even if he has a lovely laugh. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me. But I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack or bite. I won't bite hard unless you bag me. Ugh. Ugh. Stop writing them so well. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into innuendo. I would also, to be fair, get frustrated with him. Even when I'm silent, he goes on, as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. The Luchas is utterly exquisite. Truly a performance to die for. Yeah, pass, because that sounds very literal. Also, like, we don't do well with pass. There's life in this dreadful place if you know when to work. You sound like you know the city well, which could come in handy. The man's gaze flickers from me to the key dangling from his finger. Naturally, this dump was little more than a miserable little sneer when I first arrived. Oh sure, because you built up the city. High town, low town, I know really like the back of my hand. What about the Cenobium? Do you know where that is? Now watch the face switch again. Yes! I should have worn my ears. But I don't paddle or distribute this at first. His smile vanishes. Surely you've seen it, that absurdly large tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. You must mean that spire I noticed when I first caught sight of Iridia. The Cenobium's overrated. Forget about it. I can show you things the stuffy balls in a limp dick tower couldn't even dream of. Oh, choice words. Choice words were had. Name one Coke. Do not laugh while you're drinking coffee. I think I have a distinct lack of ice cubes. I just realized because I made aloe vera. I made juice ice cubes, but I don't have any ice cubes I could throw into this coffee to make it a nice coffee. I'll figure something out later. I'll make some. It's just going to take some time. I've already got plans. Oh. Have you some pressing matters at the Cenobium? Launch dates with librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abbess? That's my business. What's it matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Your loss. Stranger finally bored with this tedious game extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for the key. Oh, I would fucking snatch that up. I wouldn't go slow. But as soon as my fingers graze smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. I knew it. Hey! He yanks me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch. But he's careful not to disturb them even as his fingers dig into my arm. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of death on the road. Your voice changed. And that fucking doctor. Okay, then I'm friends. His voice once silken lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. And something else. He murmurs against my throat. Nose raising my jaw. Let go! I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I feel him bite, he takes a deep whiff instead. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes up at me. Not quite human, not quite monster. Seems we'll go. Vere or ver? I guess vere. The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging it where his grip left grooves in the bandages. Honestly, he looks so cute when he looks pissed. The stranger twists around to watch a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. The pressed uniform bears the insignias of the Cenobium. I'll leave you for all of what, 10 minutes, and you're making trouble again. Will you quit harassing the tourists? The stranger, Veer, I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the cleric a withering smile. So suspicious. Can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar. He grins at me and his tail swishes minutely. The woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Vera cuts in. I was graciously offering my dear friend some free advice, though his voice remains light and cheerful and his expression darkens. Danger's drawn to you like a moth to flame. It will always find you, given time. The woman clocks her tongue as though she's heard recital 102 times. Word of advice, don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man from the sheer enjoyment of it. He shrugs off a wilting look from Veer. Oh please, any friend of yours knows it's true. Now hold still. Veer rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from a harness attached to his collar, but a leash. A heavy iron chain wound around a hitching post and padlocked to the back of his collar. Veer posed deliberately to hide his leash from me. Oh. The woman produces a keyring from her pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and slotting it into the lock. Come on, unless your friend's tagging along on our merry little soulless hunt. The hunting for souls inside the city. Words momentarily fail me. The woman regards me with a polite, if tight smile before marching down the stairs. Veer lingers. He stretches his arms over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. Your little secret's safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed, hmm? Veer hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily as though he hadn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try that thing I mentioned? The Loventian knot. That the one where you take 3 fingers and... Actually, don't tell me. Knowing you, it's disgusting. Wait, so she was having fun with someone and he was chained up waiting. So while she was on duty, she was doing the nasty. Is that what we're getting from this? There's a lot going on. Veer's airy laughter echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric have vanished from sight that I realize I'm still missing something. Yes! Wait! Reflexively, I shove my hands into my pockets and find it. The room key. I ease the key from my pocket and smooth my thumb over its teeth as I try to recall a touch, a tell, or any hint of Veer's sleight of hand. But I can't figure out how he did it. All I know for certain is that the Cenobium saw fit to leash him. A fate I could share if that's what his vague warning meant. I let my eyes drift skyward past the lanterns gently swaying in the breeze to the Cenobium faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need, then I can put this all behind me. This time the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping. Sure, because if that gets stolen, you lose both. It's easy enough to follow the sluggish river that splits Iridium too. The colossal bridge arches over the dark water below. I cross as quickly as I can, climbing ever uphill toward the distant tower. Hours later, legs aching, sweat beading on my forehead, I finally find what I was searching for. The Cenobium of the Luminous Void. It stands at the highest point of Iridia, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the walkways, paying no attention to the massive tower in their midst. I'm the only one standing before the gates. I crane my neck up and up until the top of the Cenobium tower disappears into the clouds overhead. I frown up at the gates, wondering what horrible traps they might contain. Despite their delicate beauty, there must be more to them than meets the eye. Knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see any other way of making my presence known. I'm halfway up the steps when something moves in my peripheral view. A shadowy figure crouches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine as if testing its strength. Oi! You there! The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spotted it, and a gaunt-faced man in a crisp charcoal uniform marches up the steps toward me. Ugh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done gawking. A dismissive wave accompanies his equally dismissive words, and he turns on his heel without even waiting for an answer from me. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there's nothing. Just the leaves blowing gently in a cool breeze. Guess that's our way in. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washing over me. Hello? A whisper so close I can feel the warm rush of breath on my skin. I instinctively jerk away, but there's no one beside me. Halfway down the staircase, I spot a woman swaying in the breeze. She's gaunt as a rail, her blouse moth-eaten. I'm unable to take my eyes off her, not because of the way she smiles a little, too widely, or the way her tousled braids look unbrushed for days, but because her eyes shine a vibrant, unnatural crimson. I'm both entranced and unsettled by their subtle glow. These days, it need a miracle to get in there. I'm not sure how to respond, or if I even should. What did I say before? Say nothing. After the experience I've just had, I'm not too keen on indulging strangers with small talk. Yeah, because we just had none. Despite my silence, she maintains her unflinching stare and smile. Lucky for you, I have miracles for free. Whatever she's selling, I'm not interested. My words came out in a tight breath. No thanks. I start down the stairs, but she abruptly steps into my path. She turns her back to me, and before I can react, she slips her fingers under the lacing of her collar, stripping out of her blouse in broad daylight. What are you... As worn fabric unveils bare skin, my panic is smothered by cold horror. A misshapen, sunken scar cast into the woman's body. Pitted gnaws skin snakes down her shoulders, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. A shuddering breath escapes me. The fuck? Oh yeah, right, there was swearing in it. Whatever disease this woman had ate away at her from the inside out. How is she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet... The power to cure anything can be yours too. The power of the sea spring. The woman slides back into her blouse and deftly laces it up. If I've caught your interest, then follow me. It's only a short walk away. That sounds very much like somebody inviting you to an opium den. You should not. Without another glance, she leisurely strolls down the Cenobium stairs, loose braids bobbing behind her. The edge of her scar peeks out from under her shirt, I guess. I stand there, wordless, until I manage to regain my bearings. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. This could be the stupidest decision in my life, but what choice do I have? Well, I almost lost it a few hours ago. I take a final look at the Cenobium's shut gates, then follow her down the steps. You didn't even fucking try to get in the first place. We descend from the high streets, leaving behind a gilded decadence. As we cross the river, the wet derelict districts feel more familiar to me. But the crimson-eyed woman takes me farther than farther still, until I'm met with an all-too-familiar sight. There we go. Eating the relics and everything happened. My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The city's outskirts are hardly recognizable in daylight, and probably safer for it, but venturing beyond Iridia's walls is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. Keep going straight and the sea spring will reveal itself to you. I bark out a bitter laugh loud and involuntarily. I'd rather not. Are you kidding? It's not safe out there. You're as safe inside the city as outside of it. Truthfully, the territory before you is the safest of all. What do you mean, territory? The region belongs to Eyes. Most people know him as a gang leader, but he's much more than most. I squint against the empty wasteland. Only a fool or someone with nothing to lose would leave the city. Apparently I'm... Oh? Yeah. But if the sea spring cured her, I need to see what it can do for me. No! I set off into the waves. Over my shoulder, the woman calls after me. Good luck, Morgan. I hope we meet again. My heart pounds with each step I take from civilization. Why are you doing this? For it seems like an eternity, I force each foot forward, one step then another, until realization hits me. I never told the woman my name, is what I'm saying. Something pierces the horizon ahead of me. A building nestled into a tall cliffside, but so starkly out of place it might as well be a hallucination. It drips with extravagance and honey's mahogany, an ornate jewel of architecture. A row of dark silhouettes stand out on the horizon, trees I think, until I'm close enough to realize that what I mistook for branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless, several of them watch me in the distance like statues. Great. I don't think, I just run, exploding into a messy sprint. I push my legs as fast as they'll take me towards the decorated building. Flashes of last night chase me, the gushes of blood and screams of death, the smell of burning flesh and sour bile. I can't go through that again, I won't. And the next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and crashing through towering double doors. I gasp for air, my lungs burning from exertion. I'm desperate to be safe, but when I process my surroundings, it's more hellscape than sanctuary. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with a lurid, unholy red. Instinctively, my hand leaps to my mouth, but the wanton stench of blood never comes. Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air. Oh, and spikes. I mean, I see the tea. I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's not as gruesome as it appears. This has to be the sea spring, the place that grants miracles. Pulling my eyes away from the pool, I take in the rest of my environment. Tall pillars flank me, blanketed in written nose. Seating pillows scatter the floor. A rustic kettle sits nearby. Someone must live here despite how eerily empty it is. I'm not going to make myself known. I approach the paper-covered pillows. Maybe something here can tell me more. I reach for a note that's higher up. It reads, "No one will read this, but it's not for anyone else. This is evidence I existed in this rotten, grim world. Isn't so? I wish I could have stayed longer. The Bob girl will be lonely without me. I should have told her how the rest is scratched out. I wonder who wrote this." Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. Something's watching me. I quickly set the note back, my eyes darting around the wooden deck, but it's still empty and vacant. Finally, I look towards the sea spring, but stillness hides something deeper, something wrong. Hey! I spin around and come face to face with a pack of soulless. They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring threateningly, all different sizes and species, but sharing one identical trait: glowing crimson eyes. I try to back away, but my heel teethers over the sea spring. I'm cornered. Watch your step, it's deeper than it looks. That voice again. At the sound of it, the soulless freeze, the smells quieting. Is that the one we saw? I search for the voice's source and find it above me, lounging in the rafters. You look lost, little sparrow. His gaze is violent crimson, one that sees through me, leaves me feeling raw and exposed. They're the same eyes I've seen over and over, first with the scarred woman, now with the soulless circling me, all bound by the sea spring's blonde red. And the shroud of darkness behind him shapes like massive tentacles twist and coil around the wooden beams. I can't focus. The soulless's growls ring in my ears. They're not advancing, but they could change at any second. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle to track them. Hey! Eyes on me! My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? Wait. No, I'm not avoiding that. I look right into his unnerving eyes, holding his gaze defiantly. Fuck you. Is that better? A crooked grin cracks across his face. We'll work on it. I scan the soulless again. They really aren't attacking, posturing more than anything else. Almost as if they're waiting for commands. Did you tame them? How of the sea spring? They're hungry so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. How about I didn't do anything wrong? Trespassing. And that's punishable by death? He gives a non-committal shrug. Acting mercy was your first mistake. A voice stops in my throat as man's tearfulness is both infuriating and terrifying. I rack my brain for a way to defuse the situation. Tell me what you want. I'm not in the mood for guessing games. Your hands. Alarm jolts through me. I hide my hands on my cloak. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. With a sharp cough, I reluctantly hold out my bandaged hands. Are you getting off on this? Unwrap them. Heat rushes to my face and fire to my tongue. I could give him a piece of my mind, but not when his souls are one command from ripping me to shreds. Yet no matter how much I will myself to move, my body is frozen in place. I stand there for a long, agonizing minute. Yes, that's one of the 4 trauma responses. Freeze. My hands are trembling when I finally raise them. I know the skin beneath the wrappings all too well. A hideous sinister flash of grown into his eyes. I grip the edge of the bandages. Stop! With a weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud to shake the panels underfoot. He's a monster, with an imposing figure that towers over me. I couldn't tell how tall he was before, but he's big. Illuminated by lantern light, his features are stronger, sharper. Subtle clings of metal accompany each of his footsteps. The closer he gets to me, the faster my heart hitches. What does he want? Is he going to kill me? I step backwards and find nothing to set my foot on. I'd forgotten my back was the sea spring. I fall right before a warm hand catches my lower back. I'm hovering above the sea spring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing crimson eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. I'm too stunned to muster a response. Like I weigh nothing, he guides me back to solid ground and steps back. Following a subtle gesture from his fingers, the soldiers around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt it gives me whiplash. The enormous tentacles are no longer in the rafters. Though now I doubt I ever saw them at all. Either way, I exhale a breath of relief. Thanks. His force used on me as the wall before. The monster pays no attention to me now. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkways, checks the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden disregard's almost insulting. So that's it. I'm not a threat anymore. Never were one. Then why do you threaten me? People get honest when they're afraid. In other words, he was messing with me. I drag a hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me today. Your eyes, aren't you? Depends who's asking. One of your friends told me this was your territory. She also said you were a gang leader. But there's no one else here. I thought there'd be more people. Eyes picks up the kettle and walks to the edge of the sea spring, then dumps out the contents into the endless red. Gang took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches across his face ear to ear. Is this Then in an instant it drops. I get the sense that I shouldn't ask about his gang again. Something must have happened. I've learned to recognize real leader. We are C1. Eyes, regrettably, fits the type perfectly. He knows how to scare people and he expects submission, but it's uncommon for someone so used to power to be so alone. I'm so glad there's this feature with the mouse. What do you need the sea spring's power for? Depends. Can it cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? Nope. He shakes out the empty kettle and starts collecting stray cups, tidying up. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused smirk. I've been irritating on purpose. Listen, Sparrow. The sea spring can cure anything. Nothing stopping you from trying it yourself. What do I have to do? Drink. I have to drink from the sea spring? My eyes glide to the blood-like pool beside us. The idea of ingesting the strange liquid makes me guts churn. Is there a price? Always. Eyes taps his temple with a finger. You lose it a little bit. That's it. Might have already beat it to the punch. My humor earns me an amused, fanged grin. This is a little different. When you drink from the sea spring, you forget who you are. Your mind combines with everyone who ever drank it before. Humans, monsters, soulless. One big happy family in your head. My blood runs cold. I've heard of these before. Group minds. I thought they were just rumors. I've heard whispers of cults performing rituals to bind the members' minds together. It never seemed possible. Something tells me this is real, even if one thing doesn't add up. Your eyes are red too, but you obviously haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, Eyes strides past me towards the entrance. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. I'm on a bad day. I've got somewhere to be. There's still so many questions burning on the tip of my tongue, but my frustration spills out before any of them. I was told to come here for help, but instead I get threatened and kicked out. You're joking, right? Watch your tone. I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the host's mood. My skin prickles. The feeling of being watched washes over me again. My eyes dart back over the sea spray. A lone ripple dances on the quiet surface. I take Ice's advice and clap my mouth shut. Ice approaches. A nearby Solus, a lanky dog-like one with 6 legs and a crown of tendrils. Several sets of crimson eyes soften his sides. Well, mark his sides, whatever. Its forked tail wags rapidly when Ice squats beside it. He runs his fingers through the tendrils, scratches its chin, and pats its head. A gentle smile plays across Ice's lips. The affection he holds for the Solus is painfully clear. I dip my eyes away, my stomach clutching at the tender side. It's getting dark out, so this pretty girl will go into bed. Following a short whistle from Ice's lips, it trots over to the entrance, obediently tails feet. Wait. I watch the Solus warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe them. The idea of it protecting me sounds absurd. If I decide to drink, how should I find you? Find someone with eyes like mine, they'll point you in the right direction. But think it over, once you drink you can't go back. It's a lot to process, but I give a small nod. At least I know I have another option for cure, so as disturbing as it may be. I follow the Solus at a measured distance and watch it nudge the giant doors open with ease. When I'm about to cross the threshold, I sneak one last glance behind me. My heart skips when I meet Ice's eyes. I'm about to snap my head away, but he just flashes me an easy smile. Till next time, Sparrow. I'll buy you a drink for scaring you. I don't trust myself to do anything but respond with another curt nod. Outside, more crimson and Solus scuttle about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack from before. They chase each other in circles, roll around in the bog's mud. They pay no attention to me as the dog-like one escorts me away. It's an uneventful trip. Sometimes the Solus looks over its shoulder at me to make sure I'm still following. Dusk darkens the sky by the time we reach the city. The Solus sits and looks at me expectantly with familiar crimson eyes. I'm gonna save because I'm gonna do something stupid, but I'm gonna pet it. As nervous as I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the Solus's tendrils and scratch beneath its chin, just like Ice had. It pushes into my palm and responds, rubbing with a sound akin to purring. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the Solus spins around and scampers back in the direction we came, vanishing into the darkness. It's barely my first day in Iridia, and I've already encountered so many things I thought were impossible. Tamed Solus being one of them. My head spins, maybe I should call it a day. Nightfall creeps across the streets of Iridia. The city, labyrinthine even in daytime, has become a ruin of treacherous alleyways. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city abandoned. I make my way through the winding streets, doing my best to keep my bearing towards the Went Wing. My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. I strain my ears, but everything is still. Is the silence playing tricks on me? Yep. No. Whispered. Something's wrong. The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle. A frisson. Discomfort running down my spine. Something is wrong. My eyes dart from one side of the street to the other, searching for movement. But shadows are as deep and dark as pools of... I see nothing. I can't stay here. I need to reach a busier part of the city. Drawing my cloak tighter around my body, I hurry on my way. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder, maybe I really did imagine that noise. I turn the next corner, my thoughts come screaming to a halt. My head spins, the world's blowing as adrenaline rushes through my veins. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. Oh, for fuck's sake. The soulless that attacked the caravan. It crouched over a dark, indistinct shape, a body. A garland of intestines spills from pallid flesh. Blood grouts the cobblestones. For a mercy, the soulless is too distracted by its meal to have noticed me. My feet feel as heavy as stone, but I can't just stand there. Here. Holding my breath, I take a few steps back. When the red slurping sounds don't abate, I take another. Then another. Then a shard of glass crunches under my heel. The world seems to slow to a crawl as the soulless raises its head, blood dripping from its tendrils, every single one of its bulging eyes fixed unblinkingly on me. It's really here. It's come back for me. Run! I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. Behind me, a piercing bass splits the silence and heavy footfalls pound after me. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose it in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear its breathing now, a wet, fluttering rasp, growing closer and closer. The same claws that severed my arms swipe out. I duck, saved by pure reflex, and skid around a corner. I take 3 running strides before the bottom drops out of my stomach. A wall twice as high as me bars my way, a dead end. When I turn around, the soulless looms in the entry of the alleyway. It's no longer running, it doesn't have to, as it prowls closer by false rays. Some of the buildings lining the streets are lit. There must be people inside. It's a long shot, but... Okay, look, we know the only thing where people will come if you scream for something is fire. So I'm very, very certain in my choice here, but I will try the nearest door. Oh well, grabbing at the handle of the nearest door. It turns completely, the hinge is creaking as I push, and I feel a flash of hope before a weight hits the door from the other side and it slams shut. The click of the lock turning is grimly final. In this wretched world, few people will stick their neck out to help their own flesh and blood, never mind a stranger. The soulless gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges at me with a flash of claws. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestones betray me. I fall, sprawling over the rough stone. As the soulless looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill. Options 1 to 4, please step in. But the impact never comes. Okay, that's probably number 5. And no, it didn't actually count. Woof! I warily crack one eye open, then the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one bloodstained hand outstretched. That's probably the person that was at the gate. Yes, that's the person that was at the gate. Moonlight silvers the edge of their stiletto knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood, and the soulless. My eyes turn past my unexpected rescue to the misshapen form behind them. The soulless's many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now look dull and waxy. A red pool spreads slowly from under its body. Numb with shock, I can't help but stare. It's dead. After all the people it's killed. After nearly killing me twice. I can hardly believe it. Well, I gingerly take the hand. The stranger's gaze dips to my bandages. Pale lips part on the brink of a question, then close again. With the strength bellying the slight frame, they pull me to my feet. As soon as I'm on my own 2 feet again, they pull away from me and start wiping the blood off their face and hands. Stay there. They turn away from me, stiffly, leaning towards the soulless gangly body. With their back towards me, I realize that I saw a hooded silhouette at the cenobium. You shorter than I thought. Aha! No, I'm going with this. I've seen you before. You went to cenobium earlier, weren't you? They cast a wary look at me. So what if I was? A harsh response takes me aback. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking traveling alone at night? I don't know. Apparently I wasn't thinking. This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tails of them. First they saved me, and now they scold me. Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. Their attention glides back to Solus's corpse. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Morgan. Mihin. Suddenly, Mihin. Kansas blade. The blade flashes as they drive it into the back of the Solus's neck. Solus thrashes once, letting out a rattling hiss as the air leaves its lungs. Min leans on the blade, driving it deeper and deeper until there's a sickening crunch and the creature goes limp. My heart thumps in my chest. It must have been clinging to life by a thread. Min straightens up and withdrawing their blade in a single smooth motion. Better to put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. That swift, unhesitating, lethal strike wasn't the work of an amateur. But they don't act like any of the cold-blooded killers I've seen in the past. Why is a Solus inside the city? Sorry, I'm getting tired and my reading abilities are dropping on me, but I do want to play the demo in one go. So, here we go. We're continuing on. Min looks at me, eyes searching before realization dawns. I might just take a quick break though. You're new here. There's no walls around the city. Solus can come and go as they please until someone is contracted to stop them. The Cenobium patrols don't bother to protect Lowtown, not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of the Cenobium. I wouldn't go that far. Their brow promptly furrows and they sheathe their knife, motioning for me to follow them. It's not safe here, the vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in the city. I trail behind them as they stride down the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? I came for the bounty on that Solus and you were in the way. Locating you isn't the same as helping me. Don't count on being so lucky again, or anything will be dead. Or you'll be dead by sunrise. The answer is stingingly harsh. Okay, we're doing a very quick VRB, and then we're going to continue. I love the song, but we're going back to those also. I ate something, I had sugar, and I had some water, so it should be fine now. So the answer is stingingly harsh. I don't remember what the answer was. You know what? Fine. I just need to find my lodgings. What was the answer? Not killing you isn't the same as helping you. Don't count on being so lucky again, or you'll be dead by sunrise. Honestly, me being the bitch I am. You know what? Fine. Fed up, I don't bother holding back anymore. Fine. I don't know why you dive in out of nowhere to kill some dangerous soulless, then be rude to the person you help, but go right ahead. Min blinks, staring at me like my head just spun around on my neck. They open their mouth, then close it, looking uncertain. I forge onward, gathering steam. How was I supposed to know there'd be dangerous soulless hunting in the streets? You don't have to be an asshole about it. You're not as spineless as you look. Damn, got the man blushing. Oh, wait. Is he? Are they? I don't know, because I think one's a 13. Morgan. A chance surprised by the voice, Cordas walks down the street towards us. His white and gold clothing is pristine despite the grime of the city. Hello, Min. I see that Solus was your work. Min shrugs. There's a familiarity to the way they regard each other. I'm gonna go with Kura. It's not gonna be that many. You know them, Kura? Min is a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They are quite reliable. They them pronouns. Unreliable freelancers don't eat. There's something Kura isn't saying here. Morgan needs to get back to wherever she's staying before she wanders into the jaws of another soulless. It is late. Were you able to find a place to stay, Morgan? I'm staying at the Wetwig. Both their no. Both their faces fall. I see. Would you like a guide? It might be preferable to wandering about alleyways. That would be nice. Min clicks their tongue and sighs, sounding mightily put out. Going to the Amaryllis district, that gaudy cesspit. Come this way. Despite Min's clear distaste, when Kurus leads me down the street, they keep pace with us. Catching my curious glance, Min's eyes narrow. It's not safe this late. I don't care about you, but Kurus is the only doctor worth a damn in this place. Are you like this with everyone? The deadpan look Min gives me is answer enough. I love these people. I catch Kurus hiding a slight smile. Devious feet. I suppress a sigh and resign myself to having a grumpy shadow all the way back to the Wetwig. The route Kurus takes is completely different from my slow meandering earlier in the morning. In no time at all, he cuts through darkened streets and twisting alleys. Well, yeah, duh, he knows the city. It seems like half the city has poured into the Amaryllis district's colourful streets. Laughter, clinking glasses, and music assault my ears from every direction. Yet the most noise still comes from the Wetwig. Its doors hang wide open, lanterns lit. Oh, we get a back view. Here we are. He moves towards the door and Min lets out an audible huff. Don't tell me you're going in. I have some quick business with Leander. Ugh, fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. They drag their feet, reluctantly trailing me into the tavern. As soon as the doors open, a wave of sticky heat rolls over me. In the hours since I left, the wick has grown suffocatingly crowded. Kura stands out, easily a head taller than most. Even so, I nearly lose sight of him amid the sea of swarming bodies. Pardon me. The crowd passes as though answering his request. Kura glances over his shoulder at Min and me before gliding through. How can anyone breathe in here? Min follows Kura's at a clipped pace. Leander is right where I left him, although he's traded places with the bartender. He holds a pair of shot glasses filled to the brim with luminous green liquid. He's low-key absent. And now for the finishing touch. Flash of magic paints the glasses white with frost. You're never gonna guess what's in these. Leander slides the glasses across the bar and I get my third and fourth shot of the evening in rapid succession. Ice leans against the bar, an elbow propped up on the counter. He catches the glasses and lifts one to light before turning it upside down. The contents, magically congealed, stay firmly in place. You're supposed to make drinks, pretty boy. Don't tell me you're wasted already. Veer, perched on the bar's counter beside Ice, takes a single look at the shot glass and shakes his hand. What have we here? A bucket full of boogers. Leander's nose treasure. You've eaten worse. Veer's lips twitch and his ears flatten when Ice offers him a glass. He turns his cheek with a sniff and Ice just snickers. Well, I expected these two to be pals. Coward. Don't tell me you're actually... In one fluid motion, Ice throws back his head and now's the shot. Drinking that. A dark look crosses Ice's face. It's chewy. Chewy? Wait, let me try again. I mean, I thought that was the point of turning it into a jello shot, no? Is that not? Behind me, Min grumbles. I told you this place was a nest of degenerates. If it isn't Kuras and Min! At the sound of Leander's voice, Min's pale eyes grow white. They look ready to bolt until Kura sets a hand on her shoulder. I promise this will not take long. Min's eyes dart from Kuros' hand to his face and soften. Fine, you first. While they step forward, I linger behind, struck by a sudden revelation. All of the people I've met today know each other. Good evening, Leander. Ice. Another drinking competition, I presume. Oh, is it evening already? Could have sworn it was earlier. Just some friendly rivalry, Doctor. Nothing to be afraid of. Kuros acknowledges Leander and Ice with the slightest nod, ignoring Veer entirely. Not that Veer seems to mind. I am right, they don't like each other. He tilts his head, and an impish smile curves his lips when he spots Min, looming silently behind Kuros. I almost didn't see you then, Min. Looking for your booster seat. Min pushes back their hood. They level Veer with a cool look. I thought Ice wasn't allowed to bring his pets in here. Veer's tail gives an angry twitch. They're gonna be at each other's throat in no time. At the first sign of an impeding fight, Leander vaults clear over the counter. He slides in between Ice and Kuras. Now, let's try and keep the peace. It's not every day the esteemed doctor takes us up on a drink. His arm snakes around Kuros' shoulders. You're finally taking me up on a drink, right, Kuros? I'm afraid not. We were merely escorting Morgan back to her lodgings. Kuros gestures in my direction, and my stomach sinks. I reluctantly step into the light. As soon as he sees me, Leander's face brightens. Morgan! It's been too long. Everyone this is Morgan. She's new to Rydia. I feel 5 pairs of eyes fix onto me, and suddenly the bar feels suffocatingly small. My voice nearly catches in my throat. We've already met. Actually, I've already met everyone. You've already met? Ice and Veer level me with subtly amused expressions. Of course they would. Ugh. Veer's tail gives a lazy wag. We did, not that long ago either. I'm starting to suspect she's stalking me. He looks far too pleased with himself when I roll my eyes. Now that is a lineup. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? In an instant, all eyes turn to Leander, freeing me from the burden of attention. I still can't believe they all know each other. Watching them talk amongst themselves feels surreal. But for the first time since I undertook the journey to Rydia, I feel a faint glimmer of hope. I know I was meant to meet them. The low, pleasant rumble of Leander's laughter pulls me from a restless thought. Well, color me surprised. You make friends fast, Morgan. I wouldn't go that far. We're more like acquaintances. A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends you haven't shared a drink with yet. A wise man? You said that. Here, last week. I can hear Min's lip curl with distaste from across the bar. Leander clears his throat and continues unperturbed. Let's toast to Morgan's health. Care to join in, Doctor? Kuros politely declines with a wave of his hand. How about you, Min? No. Are you? No. A resounding pop pierces the din of the bar. We all turn in the direction of the noise. Veer looks almost bashful as he accepts an overflowing flute from the bartender. Poured from a bottle so old its label has been worn blank. They serve champagne here since when? Veer pauses in the middle of licking champagne foam from his fingers with a coy smile. You don't mind, do you? In a transformation as impressive as his magic trick, the concern on Leander's face vanishes. He laughs softly. No, be my guest. I know you've got expensive taste. Then he shoots the bartender a frantic look. Unbothered or uninterested in his company, Eyes cans his head at me, a light smile on his lips. Something tells me that Veer used some charm here to get that champagne. How about you, Sparrow? I did say I'd buy you a drink earlier. No, my treat. I've got fight over it. Eyes regards Lavender over the lip of his glass. In the dim light, the glint in his crimson eyes looks downright dangerous. What will it be, Morgan? I made that mistake earlier, taking a drink, but I'm gonna stick with it. I'll take you up on that drink, as long as it's not one of those green shots. Don't knock them till you've tried them. They taste better than they look. Yeah, and apparently the chewy spot. Somehow I doubt that, but I hold my tongue long enough for Leander to go behind the bar. He's lying, isn't he? When I glance at Eyes, he only shrugs. Like I said, they were chewy, probably poison too. He considers his own drink a tumbler of amber-colored whiskey. Leander's tried to kill me a dozen times by now. It's always a gamble. Veer clicks his tongue in disapproval. When he finally looks my way, it's with a half-lidded gaze, softened by his third glass of champagne. Were I you, I wouldn't let Leander put anything in that. Oh god. He fans his fingers over his chest, voice dripping with fake reverence. The Wet Wick is one of the finest drinking establishments in all of Iridia. While you're here, you may as well partake of the signature watered-down drinks and stale not leather. He sweeps his hand towards a chipped ceramic bowl filled with spindly speckled jerky that I can only assume is not leather. What is with the food in the city? An abysmal, as abysmal as you make it sound, this place is completely packed. It's not all bad. Depending on the day, the food's edible. Eyes takes a measured sip of his drink. Gotta stick around for the real attractions, though. Before I can ask what he means, Leander returns with a tumbler that he sets in front of me. Uneven chunks of ice bob in a pool of reddish-purple alcohol. I sniff the drink suspiciously. To my relief, this time all I smell is the sharp scent. Yes! Clean scent of gin! With an undercurrent of fermented fruit. Fuck yes! Give me my drink. The man does get me. I'm so happy with this gin. Relax, it's just a local specialty. Plum gin. That's good. Although, if you're feeling more adventurous, I shake my head. Leander rubs his knuckles against the bar until the group falls silent. Alright everyone, let's toast. May Morgan's stay in Iridia be full of bright adventures and discoveries. Cheers. Leander, Eyes, and Veer raise their glasses in unison. Min only crosses their arms and Kuros watches with polite indifference. I tip back my drink. The plum gin is eye-wateringly strong. Despite a sharp medicinal edge, it goes down smooth. One sip softens the edges of my vision. The next fades the din of the crowded bar into a low, persistent murmur. I find myself unwinding for what feels like the first time in years. On to you, the popular one, Morgan. I'm guessing you met Chorus first. It would be more accurate to say that I found her. You saved my life. I merely performed my duty as a doctor. Although I must admit that I was confused when I woke up missing all my clothes. Then the makes a choked noise. Somewhere behind him, Min sighs. It's not what you think. You don't know what she was doing. Morgan was in grave condition. I could hardly treat such injuries through tattered clothes. The silence that follows stretches uncomfortably long. I look away, unable to face Carus's disappointment and catch Veer snickering behind his hand. That's my cue to change the topic. Chorus isn't the only one who saved me today. Don't you listen? I didn't save you. You were simply there. That's Min for you. Leander reaches for Min, but they duck under his arm with practiced ease without so much as looking his way. As reliable as they are moody. You're one to talk, considering you neglected to warn her to stay off the streets at night. Oh, I might have gotten a little distracted. Min's only response is a short breath. At any rate, I never got a chance to thank you, Min. Don't. The less soulless alive, the better. For a heartbeat, Min's eyes flicker towards Eyes and the lips twist. Eyes is too busy nodding along to Veer's enthusiastic pantomime of stabbing to notice. Lost, no doubt, in an enthralling discussion. I've had enough of this hellhole. Let's go. Min and Kurus share a brief look, then the doctor speaks up. Very well, but there is something that I must discuss with Lend if you'll excuse us for it. And just like that, the three of them depart, leaving me alone to save my gin in silence. Or so I think, until I hear a voice so soft and low it's practically a purr. Lost the tour guide. I turn to find Crimson and Pink Eyes trained on me. Oh boy. It's not lost on me that they chose the instant the others left to strike. Just my luck. I had to be abandoned with the two most irritating people I've met all day. Monsters or not, there's no telling what I'll do if either of them push me again. Don't tell me Leander already snuck off to get his knob slobbered out back. Jeez. He's got business with Kurus and Min. 2-on-1 business, Isn't he lucky? I can't tell if it's the champagne or the company, but Veer has grown noticeably more relaxed. He sits with his chin propped on the back of his hand. His ears twitch whenever a hiccup shakes his shoulders. Also, what about the leash? Why are you so far away? Come join us. He pats the empty bar stool beside Eyes, but I hesitate. The smell Veer wears is sweet and distinctly fly. And with drinks in the mix, I dread how he and Eyes will mess with me next. We don't bite. I'm not sure about that. Just hours ago, he tried to rob me, and you threatened me. Me? Steal? Surely you must be mistaken. You sure it was me? Yes, it was you. And then you had the gall to kick me out just so you could go drinking. He gives another one of his shrugs. I was lonely. A simpler answer than I expected, but I guess I can't fault him for that. Veer suddenly slumps forward, gossamer sleeves falling where he rests his elbows on his knees. Eyes sets his hand on Veer's waist, narrowly preventing him from tipping off the counter. How about we start fresh and begin with proper introductions? Get off on the right foot and whatnot, I'll start. The name's Veer, hunter extraordinaire. Veer's right hand flutters to his chest, and he bows his head, flinching when hair falls into his eyes. Eyes doesn't say anything, so I suppose it's my turn now. You already know my name. I'm certain you already know my name. Hard not to when Leander shouts it every other second. Veer tips back his head and drains the rest of his champagne. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Morgan. He says my name slowly and deliberately, savoring every syllable. A tingle jumps down my spine. I quickly turn my gaze away. I can't wait to make him flustered. Eyes smirks at my reaction over the rim of his glass. Something funny? Nope. I open my mouth and close it just as quickly. They want me to react, goading me into another ridiculous game. While their sharp cat-like eyes keep me on edge, something about this tension is fun. It must be the gin. A flash of white over Eyes' shoulder catches my eye. Across the bar, Kurus' heads for the door. I don't see Leander or Min, but it feels wrong to let him leave without saying goodbye. I'll be back. Veer hums and wags his fingers at me as I leave. I slip through the crowd, careful not to touch anyone, but just as I'm nearing Kurus... Gah! I stagger, shoulder checked by a man with a neck thicker than both my thighs. He stares down at me, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, shit stain! My words spill out on my own. You watch it! I regret them as soon as they leave my mouth. That fucking gin! The roughneck wheels around, shoving a bloodhound out of the way so he can close in on me. What did you say? He shoves me backwards, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. I'm fine, but my heart leaps into my throat when I see the roughneck bearing down on me. You trying to start something here? The roughneck freezes, his fist cocked back, a group of bloodhounds caught by the commotion circle him, sizing him up. For what feels like an agonizingly long moment, the roughneck looks from me to the bloodhounds. Finally, he sniffs and spits on the floor next to me. The lob narrowly misses my cheek. Screw it, too many freaks in a circus tonight. He turns his back on me and comes face to face with Eyes. A dangerous smile spreads across his face. You'll do. What happens next is a blur. Eyes' fist crashes into the roughneck's jaw, causing an eruption of gasps, shouts, and even cheers around us. I scramble to my feet right as the frantic crowd swarms around me, cutting off my side of everything and everyone. Through the rockers I hear Leander shouting, Hey, hey, Eyes, take it outside! Ignore them, everyone. Look, drinks are on me. How often does he say that tonight, I wonder? With those 4 words, the wake erupts with hoots and hollers. The ring around me disperses as bloodhounds and onlookers rush towards the bar. Through the thinning crowd, I catch glimpses of familiar faces. Eyes vanishes out the back, dragging the roughneck behind him. Tourist lingers near the door, searching, I suspect, for any wounded before he departs. Min draws their hood up tight as they slip out a side door, while Veer leans over the counter to swipe a glass of wine from behind the bar. Leander, seated at the opposite end of the bar, gestures dramatically and apologetically at the bartender. In the space of a heartbeat, I realize that there's no telling when or if I'll see any of them ever again. Whoever I pursue may be the last person I get to speak to tonight. I follow. I have to go with Veer, but I'm definitely saving this. I have to go after Veer. There's no way I cannot go after Veer. Of all the people I've met, only one left me with more questions than answers, which is also true. Veer knows more than he's letting on, I'm certain of it. Also, he is, aside from Min, our direct link to the Sun Embium. I don't have to justify my choices. I'm crazy for Fox Boys, okay? And if he's feeling as playful as he was earlier, I might be able to get information out of him. Still, lingering doubt looms heavy over my decision. Can I really trust someone who lies so readily? Actually, yeah, sometimes they are the most trustful. At least you can trust that everything's a lie. Returning to the bar, I slow work with the heavy crowd vying for drinks. It's slow work. When I find Veer, he's leaning against the counter with his elbows propped on the edge and a wine glass raised to his lips. Not for the first time I catch myself staring, and judging by the looks I see thrown his way, I'm not the only one. Yet there's a clear ring around Veer no one else seems bold enough to cross. Oh, thinking yes, one ear perks at the sound of my approach, but Veer doesn't so much as look my way, even when I slide onto the seat beside him. I didn't think you planned on sticking around. A free drink's a free drink, even if it tastes like rappers. Didn't you say you wouldn't be caught dead slumming in this shithole? Veer takes a delicate sip from his glass, but his tail thrashes below the bar. You've caught me red-handed. He peers at me over the rim of his glass. In the low light, his eyes glitter jewel-bright with amusement. However will you punish me? I can goodness, why? I figured my company is punishment enough for you. Veer's lips twitch, and he smiles despite himself. So you survived the night. Are you here for praise, or will a head pat do? I feel a muscle in my jaw flex at a cool twist to his smile. His arrogance has made a full recovery, meaning only one thing. Veer has sobered up so much for my plan. About that, turns out you were right, I did run into trouble. Now I can't decide if you're an oracle, an actual threat, or just completely full of shit. Veer scoffs. Most women would buy me a drink before insulting me. Sorry. Wow. You wish. After the way you jerked me around, if anyone's owed a drink, it's me. Veer also the drinks are free, they're on the end. So, what do you want me to buy you? Veer falls so uncharacteristically quiet that for a moment I feared that I've actually crossed the line. Then he pops a chink on his wrist. I don't think you understand how things work here. Information is a luxury. One ear flung carelessly aside. I'm not following. If you valued my words, you'd have taken them seriously. I gave you free advice, warned you of the danger you were in, and still you went prancing off to the sea spring. Small wonder the soldiers didn't tear you to ribbons. My first impulse is to argue, but what he said doesn't sit well with me. How does he know what happened to me? Nah, I'm just gonna go straight with that. How do you know I left Iridia? I'm certain I wasn't being followed when I left. I have a very sensitive nose, remember? Right, how could I forget? Do you normally greet people by shoving your nose into their laps like an overeager Labrador? Did you? But wow, his eyes backed up. For a heartbeat, Veer's eyes were white and flat. Then he laughs under his breath. Only the ones I like. Veer trades his empty wine glass for a long abandoned tumbler, sweating beside him. Soft lumps of ice bob in the watery dregs of whiskey. But the truth is, I despise most people. His eyes flicker over my shoulder and thin, as Lander's boisterous laughter erupts from the other side of the bar. What about him? Now that we've started off on the right foot. He turns, angling so he can look me over. His gaze is agonizingly slow as it glides over me. Finally, his lips quiet. I haven't made up my mind about you yet. It's a start, or so I think, until his eyes slide away and he turns back towards the bar. It's not Veer's attitude that bothers me. No, I expected that of him. It's the fact that I've got no idea how I'm supposed to hold a conversation, much less get answers when he's being so testy. And his foul mood is infectious. Did I do something to piss you off? He lets out a short breath. No. Another lie. I'm close enough to catch the subtle bristling of his tail. I'm just disappointed. People like us can't help but attract danger, yet you seek it out and for what? Cheap thrills? I wasn't trying to get eaten by Solus. There's something I'm looking for. And you think Min can help you? Leander? Are you really willing to risk your life with those dipshits? What life? You've got no idea what we've gone through or... Forget it. I start to rise, but Veer touches my shoulder. It's little more than a brush, but enough to give me pause. His eyes search mine, softer somehow than before. I couldn't even begin to understand you, but I could. I could help you if only you'd listen. How do I know I can trust you? You don't, but I'm slightly less inclined to waste your time with empty flattery or insults than those two. Is what you desire really worth risking your life for? If you knew the kind of life I've lived, you wouldn't be asking. Veer considers the condensation sweating from his glass for a long moment before speaking again. Will you trust me? For now. Good enough for me. Veer raises the tumbler. Like anything else would make sense. Veer raises the tumbler to me and snaps back the dregs. Once he's finished, he wipes his mouth on the back of his hand. Let's talk outside. If I have to smell Leander's skunky aftershave for much more, I'll hurl. With that, he slips away from the bar, leaving me to follow the path of his long, trailing tail through the crowd. It's so cold outside, the breeze cuts clean through my bandages, freezing my fingers. But if the chill bothers Veer, he doesn't show it. He lopes purposefully down the street into an alley. This far from the wig, the bar's record is little more than an indistinct hum. Oh, we're really walking out again. This street's as dead as the Amaryllis district was crowded. Did Veer want privacy or no witnesses? If you had questions, ask. Veer's breath mists in the dark. In the cold moonlight, his shadow stretches unnaturally long over the cobblestone street. Quickly, I've got a show to attend. Heavenly Looters, as I'm sure I've mentioned. He looks down his nose at me. How tall is he? Effortlessly imperious, with one hand set on his hip. As for a breath, I'm reminded of the stark wound that gleamed in his eyes when he touched me. If you weren't so pretty, I'd walk away. But I need answers, and I can't think of a better way than starting with the people I met earlier. If Veer doesn't prove trustworthy, maybe one of them will. Fine, I'll ask about... the one he hates. I wanted to ask you about... I regret speaking as soon as I start. Veer's mentioned Cordas before, though not by name. His reaction last time was nasty. But I can't back down now, not with Veer eyeing me suspiciously. About the doctor, Cordas. My hand's ready for a blowback, but Veer only flicks his hand dismissively. Bit of a bore if you ask me, but he's popular enough. You know, on account of his massive heart. He winks as though the stress he plays on heart wasn't already suggestive. There's always a line wrapped around the block for his services. People can't seem to get enough of his special medicine. Probably because he doesn't charge anything. Veer's tail gives an impatient twitch. Well, they're eager for little mouth-to-mouth with their pelvic examinations, if you get what I mean. Wow, that's I mean, I already got the heart thing, but wow, that's pretty direct. When I grimace, Veer grins wolfishly at me. There's clearly no point in asking him anything else about Chorus. Let's go with him. I've got to admit I was surprised to see that you and Min know each other. Are you friends? Oh yes, we laugh and go shopping and we have sleepovers where we braid each other's hair and kiss with a loud tongue. I'm beginning to wonder if Veer's ever had friends. Let me guess, you don't like them. Can't stand them. The first time we met, they stabbed me. Slit cold hard steel between my ribs. Nearly nicked my heart. It was exquisite. The knife, I mean. Some sort of antique. Min's done nothing but disappoint me ever since. So, you're not close. Can you imagine me being friends with that crabby little killjoy? Impossible. Not unless they learn to lighten up. And I'm afraid not even a surgeon as practiced as Kuras could remove the stick wedged firmly up Min's hurt arse. Okay. I'd like to know more about eyes. You two seem close. You made an impression, huh? Not surprising. He's strong, ruthless, easy on the eyes. Gives it almost as well as he takes it, even if he's awfully greedy. Switch. Big everywhere, really. It's simple, but you know what they say about still waters. I don't, but I'm too distracted by the changes come over Veer to ask. A coy smile plays at his lips as he winds a finger around the chain dangling from his collar. Ooh! Yeah, I mean, he does give Brett energy, come on. I thought he didn't like most people. Eyes isn't most people. He's better. Oh. Our eyes meet and Veer's tender expression curdles. He makes a tiny sound of distaste in the back of his throat. He's more trouble than he's worth. Dangerous too. Stay far away from him and those red-eyed freaks if you value your safety or your sanity. Is that why you scolded me for going to the sea spring? I really don't think ours is as bad as you're saying. You don't know him, not like I do. The corner of his lip twitches. Before I can ask my next question, Veer gives a frustrated growl. Don't you dare ask me about another soul. Shit, because I wanted to ask him about Anderson. I haven't got all night for idle gossip. But I wasn't finished asking. You got 2 more questions. Make them count. So much for being helpful, but I suppose it's just how information works in this exhausting city. No more time for idle chatter. I'll get straight to the point. Leander told me that the Cenobium imprisons people. Does it mean you? Leander's a moaning fool with a throbbing victim complex. He loves to see himself as a savior, but the only difference between his cronies and the Cenobium stooges are the uniforms. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what surprises me more, the bluntness with which Veer spoke, or the venom lacing his ordinarily silken voice. You're asking who when you should be asking why. Is the asshole counting my questions? The look he throws me is infuriatingly self-satisfied. Fine, why were you imprisoned? For the same reason they'll disappear. You, given half the chance, I'm something special. Veer bows his head, gathering his hair in his hands and lifting it from his shoulders to bear the plain leather collar adorning his neck. See this collar? He cranes his neck, inviting me to lean closer. Looks unremarkable, doesn't it? I'd assumed that Veer's collar was a personal touch. On a closer glance, the thick, subtle leather is molded to fit his neck snugly, but the large silver cuff seems easy enough to pry open. I'm gonna regret this. Touch the collar. I reach forward to touch the buckle, but I get electrocuted, don't I? Veer's hand lashes out. Long, slender fingers wrap around my wrist, exerting just enough pressure to hint at how easily he could snap my bones. You don't know better than to touch without asking. He toots like a scolding teacher, but an impish smile grazes his lips. You didn't ask me first, so why should I? Our eyes meet and he grins. Because I said so. That's not very fair. Fuck, fairness. Life's not fair. His voice lowers to a pleased rumble. Patience, Morgan. I'll tell you when and how you can touch me. Behave or I'll make you bleed. Huh? He says it with a smile so sweet it hurts. Is it a threat or a promise? Veer doesn't answer me, but he lets go of my arm. I smooth down my bandages more to get a grip than anything else. I can't lose my composure again. By now I'd fully expected Veer to begin walking away, but the fact that he's still here suggests that he either forgot about his warning, or he was never counting my questions to begin with. Are you saying that's what will happen if the Cenobium finds out I'm different? I'll be collared? Doubtful. They keep me around because I'm the best at what I do. And what exactly do you do so well? Killing. He says it carelessly, without hesitation. As long as I wear this collar, I'm made to hunt the Cenobium's dizzying array of enemies. Monsters, soulless, noisy dissidents who grow overbold. I'm bound by their will until the day I die. It's awful. Dear Mama's in agreement. It is, isn't it? And that's all you're getting from me. I really must leave now, I'll be late. That's it? Why'd you bring me here if you weren't going to explain anything? He has the nerve to laugh. Isn't that obvious? I wanted to lure you out here alone so I could eat you. You're lying again. And you're asking far too many questions for someone hiding so much. He sneers and reflexively I shove my hands deep into my cloak. What makes you think I'm hiding anything? I don't know. Maybe it's the tough act, or the way you tense up at the slightest provocation. More likely it's the bandages, not exactly subtle, I'll be going, unless you're willing to share some morsels with me. There's a biting edge to his playful tone. I can't tell you anything. Wrong, you can start with what you are. Take a step backward, birds. My back hits a wall as Veer follows me in lockstep. I turn only to find his left hand resting on the wall beside my hand, caging me in. Cupboard on unlocked. Yes! Veer reaches for me, his fingers curl around my chin and lift, forcing me to meet his lidded gaze. Would you believe me if I said that the eyes are the windows to the sun? Yeah, we've heard that one before. My eyelid twitches. Cliché, I know, but let me tell you a little secret. Veer leans in until his lashes tickle my cheek, and the warm, faintly spiced scent of his hair drowns out the stench of greasy cooking fires and chimney smoke. There's nothing you can hide from me. His voice is so low, so supple I can slip into it. The betrayal, the loss of hope, the sheer desperation that drives you still to search and search to no end. I had forgotten about my backstory. Thank you for reminding me. I could give you something new to live for. Ow! You're a prisoner yourself. I swallowed thickly. How could he possibly know? No, this must be some sort of trick. I mean, so far, yes, every fortune teller has done to death. But for once, Veer isn't smiling. His eyes. All that suffering has made your soul so irresistible. His piercing eyes pin me to the spot. The look on his face makes my blood run cold. I've seen it before. Traveling through the waves, the lanterns would occasionally reveal carcasses clean, the starving scavengers whose eyes shone in the dark with the same ravenous hunger. Veer takes a shuddering breath. You're trembling. What if you and I went somewhere quieter, alone? Look, we all know how that's gonna end. I'm sick of running, of hurting, of suffering. Surrendering completely is the easiest thing I've ever done. Before I can finish, Veer hushes me. A gloved thumb runs across my lips, bringing the taste of leather when it dips into my mouth. He bends closer and closer. Through the gauzy veil of his hair, I see shadows spread in worlds of smoke, eddies of darkness peeling off the walls and looming to blot out the moon. Sensation flees with the light, leaving me numb to everything except the sudden pressure of a hand tightening around my throat. I saw that one coming. Something snaps, and a bitter tang of copper floods my mouth. Veer's lips brush mine as he swallows the reedy threads of my final breath. This time death comes swiftly and permanently. I'm kind of had a feeling. Okay, wait. Let's go and read out the last one. But I had to see that. Didn't I put that? Yeah, there we go. Resistant. Part of me wants nothing more than to let him take me, to surrender completely to him. But I'm not about to give up now. You're late, the rootist. Veer blinks. His voice comes out soft and breathy. Shame. He eases back, and for what feels like the first time since he cornered me, I breathe, but my relief is short-lived. So I assume if I picked eyes and also surrendered to him, the same would have happened. I wonder what it would have been with the others. Nimble fingers trail down my jaw before closing around my throat again. The touch is feather-light and teasing, but my pulse still leaps. Veer's lips twitch into a smile, his wide-ringed pupils spinning with amusement. I think it would be very, very interesting to try and win them both without dying. This is very much the same energy as the vampire visual novel I played before. You're fun, Morgan, even if you frequently forget your place. But if you ever call me a dog again, I'll break you, understood? When I narrow my eyes at him, he smiles white enough to flash sharp white fangs, as much a warning as a smirk. As soon as Via releases me, I sink against the alley wall to catch my breath. He looks down on me, his expression distinctly smug. Let's get one thing straight. I ate a monster 3 times your size for breakfast, 2 actually. The first tasted dreadful like a fisherman's old ashtray, but that's beside the point. You and I may be alike, but don't ever forget what I am or what I do best. He flashes me a dazzling smile. Morgan? Anyone seen Morgan? Leander, yep, I figured. Leander's voice echoes from the direction of the wick. I whip around. I nearly call back before remembering Veer's apparent distaste for Leander. I glance back at Veer. Only he's gone, vanished into the dark. I'm left in the deserted alley, trembling with a delirious mixture of exhaustion and excitement. I let out a long, shaky exhale that condenses in the freezing air. Only once my racing heartbeat slows. Do I make my way back towards the wick, guided by the distant sound of Leander's voice? I don't know why I read that as a question. I would still choose him. Veer serves as a warning of the dangers posed by the snowbeam. As cunning as he is curious, Veer finds you fascinating and insists that he can help. But trusting him means entrusting your life to a collared beast with a lethal reputation. Yeah, we just saw that. Can Veer protect you? Are his honeyed eyes worth a trap rating to snap shut? Thank you for playing. So that would have been, that's pretty much where I expected it to end. I'm not looking forward to replaying all of this once the game comes out, but then again, I don't actually know when. Let me just quickly check when it was supposed to be. Yeah, so great. Red Spring Studios, but oh my god, I really enjoyed that, and I'm definitely will I stream it? I don't know, because it's a lot of reading, and I haven't even figured out like the different voices I want to do for them as much as I can. I mean, Via's playfulness works. The chorus is more elegant. Yes, Leander's, I think I had the playfulness. Min and the others are more my problem. So Red Spring Studio. So I know that the stretch goal is indeed. Oh, here's the Kickstarter. I just want to see what the presumed date of delivery would be. So we're at 319,000 euros. 370 will be the animated intro. I think that's what I wanted. Yes, estimated delivery December 2025. That is a long ways off. Holy shit. But considering they have more funds than they had initially expected, I would dare to think that this is it might get finished earlier, and even if not, that's fine. By then I will probably have gotten everything I've read here and probably enjoy redoing it. But wow, I really enjoyed this. The music was a bit annoying, but they had recently asked a question on Twitter as well about like the looping of the music. So they will fix it because like 1 or 2 of them had like weird skipping in them, and people pointed it out. So they are getting on that. But yeah, I did actually not, especially for something that's a digital game, I didn't expect them to estimate almost 2 years of development. But it is what it is. A good game takes time. And on that note, I've been waffling for almost 3 hours and a half. And I also, obviously, throughout all of this, noticed that I am in a distinct lack of sleep. So I shall go and catch up on that because it is raid time soon. Thank you for sticking around and stalking the stream if any of you were lurking. And yeah, maybe Overcooked tomorrow. And then maybe Sons of the Forest on Friday. And on that note, music and